Holy shit! We just watched 2 episodes of Chaika, the Coffin Princess, or Hitsugi no Chaika, on Crunchyroll. What did you think of this show, Victor? Because you're the one who said we should watch it.
I enjoy it.
He enjoys it.
I'd
It's
recommend
a new show
so
by
far.
Studio Bones, a studio that both of us are fans of, especially him. They did a lot of your favorite shows.
Yeah.
Name a few of your favorite shows by Bones.
They did Star Driver. They did Eureka 7. They did Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. They did Zammed. They did
Did you say Record
Couple-
7 already? They
yeah.
kind of did Cowboy Bebop a bit. Anyway, so Bones has done a lot of great shows. We're fans. They're doing 3 shows this season. Captain Earth, I haven't seen it yet. He says it's cool. Soul Eater Not, we both completely did not enjoy at all. And now Chaika, which he enjoyed a lot.
Yeah.
We were describing this show as very RPG. In what ways would you say that it's... What does it make you think of watching this show?
It just feels like they played a bunch of video games and they made it. But it's very character classy where the girl's a mage and she has like her
Right.
rifle that uses spells and the guy is like, oh, I have 2 daggers and I'm a rogue and I'm weak
Right.
and I have to use agility in my brain. The other girl's like, I have a mace and I'm very strong and dumb, so I'm hitting things.
Right, a hammer, rather.
Yes.
But, yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It feels very video game. We
Yeah.
were saying that and the reason I keep phrasing it as we were saying is because we have to re-record this video, but the most standout aspect of this show is the artwork, we would agree, right? That is, the strongest point is that the character designs look fucking amazing, the outfit designs look great. Chaika has this insanely detailed outfit that is probably a huge nightmare to draw every frame of, but they do it because it's Bones, and they're not going to skimp out. They're going to make everything look good. The fact that the outfit designs are so good, weapon designs, everything's detailed and gorgeous. Nothing ever looks off or off model or anything. There's some cool fight scenes. Episode 2 has a fight that had us both going, oh! For a lot of it.
He stabbed him in the arm and then he kicked the wound.
Yeah, and then beats him the
It
fuck
was
over
like-
the head.
Ooh.
So, yeah, the fight scenes are pretty cool. There's this amazing scene in episode 2 where a tank comes rolling down the sidewalk out of nowhere behind the main character, and it makes a...
Whoa. It was Inception.
That's it. It was an
It was the
Inception
Inception
noise.
tank.
That was the weakest attempt at an Inception
Man,
noise
oh.
ever. Anyway, the tank
Oh.
shows up, and we lost our shit at that moment. And and you probably will too, because you've heard us describe it now. Yeah, it's a show where the characters seem to be the focal point. The characters, there's a storyline, but so far it's like
Bruh.
it's been like info dumps of a fantasy world that we don't care about yet because we're not invested in it. So
Yeah.
you're just watching like, all right, I guess there is a king
And the main guy is like, yeah, war. I want the war because he's dumb.
That's our full description. That's our interpretation of the plot. So far, the characters are the more interesting aspect. What do you think of Chaika, the main girl?
She's adorable.
And she suffers from, as you put it,
Chronic moe retardation.
she suffers from chronic moe retardation. She talks in fragmented sentences in a weird gaspy voice for no reason, no discernible reason. She's super adorable. All she does is just be adorable. Like, it's her whole place in the show is
Yeah.
be adorable and drive the narrative.
I feel like she has the potential to be a psychotic, crazy murderer. That one guy was terrified. He was like,
he
oh
like-
shit, you're supposed to be dead. I'm scared. And I was
and
like, oh no.
you like her weapon a lot.
Yes, she has a
because
sniper rifle, and it takes a long time to shoot the bullets, which is cool.
And the bullets are spells.
And they're
Like-
incredibly powerful, so it's like, oh, this powerful thing needs time to load. It's not
Right.
just like ultimate, just destroy everything machine.
Right. And then there's the main guy and his sister. What are they called exactly? What is the name for them?
Some
It's like
weird and unnecessary.
anyway, they both can go Super Saiyan or rather Kaioken is more like it because they turn red and just become stronger, I guess.
And they get little things on their
And
like
the
X's
guy
on their face or something.
Right, the guy is like the brains, sort of. Like, he's more tactical and agile, and then his sister is like the brawn, and she just like wrecks shit with this hammer and goes ballistic. It's a kind of cool dynamic. It was funny though, because in the first episode I'm sitting there going like, I can't help but notice that the guy is the only intelligent one, and the girls are both like really dumb, but at the same time they're both also clearly more powerful physically than the guy.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting dynamic there. There's not a lot of like making fun of the guy kind of thing. There's none of that like obnoxious humor that you often get out of these light novel adaptations. Yeah, I'd say it's very inoffensive show. There is one scene in the first episode where there's like a needless fan service shot, but not the kind where it's like nudity. It's like the main girl Chaika, like, what was she trying to do?
She shoots a giant roll of dough with her sniper rifle.
What was the
because
dough
she's stupid.
for?
I mean,
Like,
it was for cooking, I assume.
She was trying to, like, I guess,
trying to
cut
cook with her
Oh,
sniper
she was
rifle.
cooking it. Okay.
Yeah.
She's trying to cook a giant glob of dough with her rifle and, like, blows up the
It's
whole
just
room.
so there.
And they come into the room and she's, like, on the ground and she's got the dough all over her, and it's like,
Sexy.
it's like, obviously this is gonna have a million, like, it wasn't really gratuitous in the show, but you know, as an anime fan, okay, I'm gonna find a
It was
fuckload
pretty,
of fan
like,
art of this.
The character was not sexualized at all until that moment, and then it was like
Right.
sexy pose,
But
covered in
it
glob.
was right. It wasn't like overtly like, if you weren't an anime fan, you probably wouldn't really question it.
Probably.
You'd just be like, "Oh, she got covered in goo."
It wasn't like
But
a
because
serious
you're an
upstart.
anime fan and you know that this is an anime, you're like, "Oh, that's gonna be the fan art doujin shot." You know, I mean, this is based on a light novel, and traditionally light novels are more perverse, but it's Bones, and they're not really known for doing fan service.
Yeah.
So I feel like they had to put that in there because it's like it probably was the full page spread image that's in the novel or something, and then they went, okay, well, we got that scene, but we're not gonna put any other fan service really in here. We love the character designs, except the sister's hair. She has this dark green hair, and it doesn't match her
contributes
outfit.
Nothing.
Right, her hair
It's-
is awful.
It subtracts from the overall enjoyment of the program.
Right, it's her hair is the worst thing about
It's
the
like-
entire show. All in all, I can't say that I'm gonna come back to this necessarily unless you tell me it's good.
Yeah.
Like, because he's into it enough to just, because he was like, I can turn my brain off and watch it. And I'm like, yeah, but that's the problem. My brain turns off while I'm watching it. Because anytime they start talking, like, at length, there's these exposition dumps, and I just would start thinking about anything else during those scenes.
But it
like,
doesn't
I
feel
was
as-
not there.
As tedious to me as it does with like the Shaft show, where it was like I
Right.
felt almost annoyed when they're going on about it, where I was like,
But there's like this part where the dude, like,
maybe it's because I'm used to watching like Hunter x Hunter, where
Right.
all it is people standing around.
there's a part in
talking about
episode
things.
2 where the guy, like, the people who are attacking the main character, like, stop and explain the story to him. And then the main character and his sister, like, throw down smoke bombs and leave. Like, they literally stood there, got the
Doing
storyline,
nothing. There
and
were
then
no
escaped.
hand gestures.
Right, there was nothing
Not
going
really
on.
dramatic shots.
It
or
was like
anything.
back
It
and
was like-
forth, like cut. What's that called? The like when you're cutting back and forth between faces. There's a name for that.
Nah, I don't fucking know.
You're a fucking film student. You're supposed to know this shit. Anyway.
A back and forth thing.
Oh lord.
Nobody knows what they're doing.
They explain the plot, and the plot, by the way, is batshit insane because it's like this girl is trying to find all the parts of her dead father, which are like literally like the body parts of her father, so that she can give him a proper burial. But by regrouping all these parts, they are apparently going to awaken this mad king who's going to like destroy the world or bring war. And the main character literally, okay, I hate this because his whole thing is he's like, so we miss war because we're warriors and we've had nothing to do. This peaceful world pisses me off, so we're gonna help this girl. And I'm like, you are so needlessly attached to this girl out of nowhere. There's
Just
no
pointlessly
reason,
justifying his attachment.
no
when
reason
it's
that they're
like-
attached to this girl at all.
It's one of those where the only reason they're attached to her is because the author wants him
Right.
to have a reason to be attached, but he has no idea why. And
Right.
he's just like, I need him to love her.
Right. It's like, we care about her for no discernible reason, even though we've had no chemistry together whatsoever. But
Yeah.
we like her, so we're gonna help her, even though it's going to cause war. But they like war. And I'm
War
like,
is
you.
cool.
I was just like, you 16-year-old piece of shit.
man.
That's what I said. Like, that's the
In
thought
the
that went through
opening
my
theme,
head.
they were
You
all
child.
glowy-eyed walking through fire and shit.
You
So.
child is what I thought, Victor. Because that's such a fucking childish thing to say. Oh yeah, well, I like war, so.
But they need money. He was poor at the beginning because
If they
don't have
play,
anything to do.
if they actually play it, because that's the thing. He's all like, I like war, but he also like didn't kill the pursuer guy.
That's true.
You know, like he's
He
obviously
didn't
a
seem
white knight
so
kind of like
violent.
non-murderous guy, but then he's like, oh yeah, I want war. So either one of two things is gonna happen, or no, rather one thing is gonna happen. They're gonna end up causing war, and he's gonna regret it because he's gonna realize all the suffering he's causing, and that's gonna be his character arc. Or it could go the other way. What would be awesome, what would actually make the show worth watching, is if they just straight up embraced it and were like, yeah. we really want
That'd be
war. And
interesting.
it would be like they were just like villains. That would be entertaining.
We're bad.
And
guys.
light novels get away with stuff like that sometimes. You know, not all the time, but sometimes light novels pull off weird shit like that. So it could happen. But altogether, I'm not expecting anything revolutionary to come out of this show. It's a 12-episode light novel adaptation by Bones, probably being used to fund Captain Earth. So, you know, it's a lot better than Soul Eater Not. And that's it, right? All we gotta say? Anything else you want to add? About the one dude's name, maybe? What was it?
Well-
Gillette?
Gillette.
And you were laughing.
His name was Gillette.
Gillette's is a name, you know.
Yeah, but this is a Japanese show.
I
Like,
don't get why it was so funny.
why?
Alright, that's it. That's the end.
Now I'm curious if they have Gillette razors in Japan. Like, is this
Bye.
an international? Is it an international market?
Bye!
Gillette
We're stopping
razors.
the review!